Welcome to Explore Ages, where we investigate the mysteries of time. In the previous episode of this series, Creation of the Universe According to Various Religions and Mythologies, we explored the creation of the universe with Hinduism. Now in this episode, we are exploring the creation of the universe with the ancient Chinese religion and mythology. The ancient Chinese religion, legends and mythology, which developed over several millennia, provides a rich framework for understanding the creation of the universe, the origins of humanity, and the forces governing nature. These legends likely began forming around the time of the Neolithic period, around 10,000 to 2000 BCE, with some of the earliest known legends emerging during the Shang dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE. One prominent creation legend features Pangu, who, after emerging from a cosmic egg, separated the heavens from the earth, forming the natural world with his body. Around the Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, the legend of the goddess Nüwa gained prominence, depicting her as the creator of humanity and the restorer of cosmic order after a great flood. This period also introduced legendary culture heroes like the Yellow Emperor, Huangdi, said to have reigned around 2697 to 2597 BCE, and Fuxi, credited with teaching early humans essential skills. During the same era, the concept of the Jade Emperor as the ruler of the heavens emerged, organizing the celestial court in a manner that mirrored the earthly imperial system. Central to these stories are powerful figures like dragons, symbols of nature's balance and good fortune. By the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, Taoist concepts like yin and yang became deeply integrated into these myths, emphasizing the balance between opposing forces, a central theme in Chinese cosmology. These ancient myths influenced Chinese culture, religion, and philosophy for millennia, remaining a key aspect of the civilization's spiritual heritage. In the beginning, there was nothing but a great chaotic void known as Hun Dun, sometimes imagined as a vast cosmic egg. Inside this cosmic egg, the universe existed in an undifferentiated state. Heaven and earth had not yet formed, and everything was a swirling chaotic mix of opposites, light and dark, hot and cold, wet and dry, all compressed into this egg-like form. For 18,000 years, this chaos brewed until something began to change. Within the egg, a primordial being named Pangu was born. Pangu was a giant, much larger than any human, with a powerful physique and immense strength. He grew and grew within the egg, until finally, he could no longer bear the confinement of chaos. He used a giant axe, sometimes said to be a magical hammer or chisel, to crack the egg open. As the egg split in two, the lighter and purer elements, symbolizing yang, floated upward to form the sky, heavens, while the heavier and impure elements, representing yin, sank to form the earth. Pangu realized that heaven and earth were still too close together and could collapse back into chaos if not kept apart. So Pangu placed himself between the two, standing tall and strong. Each day, he grew taller, pushing the sky farther from the earth, ensuring they remained distinct and separate. For another 18,000 years, Pangu held up the heavens. As time passed, the sky rose 10 feet higher each day, the earth grew 10 feet thicker, and Pangu himself grew 10 feet taller. The distance between heaven and earth gradually increased, and the world became more stable. Eventually, Pangu's task was complete. He had created a vast, stable world with a clear distinction between the heavens above and the earth below. Exhausted from his long labor, one day, Pangu lay down and died. His death was not in vain. After his death, Pangu's breath became the wind and clouds. His voice became the sound of thunder roaring across the sky. His eyes transformed into the sun, left eye, and the moon, right eye, giving light to the world. His hair and beard became the stars and the Milky Way, scattering across the night sky. His limbs formed the 4 great mountains that support the corners of the world. His blood flowed into the valleys and formed the rivers and seas. His muscles and flesh became the rich soil of the earth, providing fertility for plants and trees to grow. His bones became precious stones, and his teeth and nails turned into metals and minerals hidden deep within the earth. His skin became the fertile ground, while his body hair became trees, forests, and plants. Even Pangu's sweat was not wasted. It became the rain that nourishes the land, bringing life to all the creatures of the world. This reflects a belief that human beings, like all things in nature, were born out of the primordial substance that Pangu created and are part of the natural world. Thus, with Pangu's sacrifice, the world as we know it took shape. The cosmos was organized into heaven, earth, rivers, mountains, and forests, all in balance and harmony. The creation legend emphasizes that the universe was not made through the will of a deity, but through the natural unfolding of the cosmos, guided by Pangu's physical actions and the dynamic forces of yin and yang. In Chinese culture, the Pangu myth is a reminder of the cyclical, self-generating nature of the universe. Pangu did not create in the way a craftsman might create an object, but rather allowed the universe to emerge by maintaining balance and separation between the forces of heaven and earth. After Pangu's death and the transformation of his body into the elements of the natural world, the legend doesn't end there. In some versions of the story, his death leads to the rise of other mythological figures, gods and goddesses who continue shaping the world and human civilization. One of the most prominent figures that comes after Pangu's death is Nüwa, the goddess responsible for creating humanity. Nüwa was a benevolent and compassionate goddess, often depicted as having the upper body of a woman and the lower body of a serpent or dragon. She roamed the empty earth, gazing upon its barren plains, its silent mountains, and its lifeless waters. The world, though beautiful in its wild state, felt incomplete, and Nüwa could sense its loneliness. She walked through this lonely land, and though the sky stretched high above, there were no sounds of laughter or cries of joy. The rivers flowed, but no hands cupped their waters to drink. The trees swayed in the wind, but no one sat beneath their shade. A deep sadness filled Nüwa's heart, for she knew this world was missing something crucial: life. Moved by the emptiness of the world and her own loneliness, Nüwa decided to create beings to fill the earth, creatures who could appreciate the world's beauty and give it meaning. She ventured to the edge of the Yellow River, where rich, wet yellow clay lined the banks. With great care, Nüwa knelt by the water's edge and began to mold the first human beings. She formed them with delicate hands, giving them eyes to see, mouths to speak, and legs to walk the earth. These first humans were her finest creations, each carefully shaped by her hands. When she breathed life into them, they sprang to life, walking, laughing, and exploring the land. However, as Nüwa continued her work, she realized that it would take her far too long to fill the entire world by hand. The earth was vast, and her hands, though divine, could not create quickly enough to populate it. So, in her wisdom, Nüwa dipped a rope into the clay, swung it through the air, and flung droplets of mud across the land. As each droplet hit the ground, a human was born. Though these humans were not as finely made as the ones she had shaped by hand, they still lived and thrived. The humans she created by hand became the nobles and leaders, while those created from the droplets of clay became the common people. Nüwa watched with joy as her creations multiplied, filling the once empty world with life, movement, and sound. For a time, the world was peaceful and prosperous, with humans living in harmony under the gaze of their divine creator. But this peace would not last forever. One day, a great war broke out between two powerful gods, Gong Gong, the god of water, and Zhuanshu, a god of heaven. In their fierce battle, Gong Gong, filled with rage after being defeated, slammed his head into Mount Buzhou, one of the pillars holding up the sky. The heavens cracked and tilted, and chaos spread across the earth. The sky no longer covered the land properly, and fires raged across the plains. Floods swept through villages, and great chasms opened in the earth, swallowing everything in their path. The beautiful world Nüwa had created was falling apart. Nüwa looked upon the devastation, her heart heavy with sorrow. She knew she had to act quickly to save her creation. Determined to restore balance, she climbed high into the heavens to assess the damage. She saw that the sky had torn apart, leaving gaping holes that let chaos leak into the world. Without hesitation, Nüwa set out to repair the damage. Nüwa's efforts saved the world from destruction. She had patched the sky, controlled the floods, and calmed the fires. She watched as the humans she had created returned to their homes, rebuilding their lives in the restored world. Peace had returned to the land. Though weary from her labors, Nüwa looked upon her work with satisfaction. She knew that she had saved not just the earth, but all of the creatures that lived upon it, especially the humans she had lovingly created. From that day on, Nüwa was revered not only as the creator of humanity, but also as the savior of the world, a goddess who brought both life and balance to the universe. Humans would honor her for generations, praying to her for protection, prosperity, and balance in their lives. And so Nüwa, the great mother of all creation, ensured that the world continued to flourish, and her legend would forever live on in the hearts of the people. Humans, born from the hands of the goddess Nüwa, were fragile and vulnerable. They struggled to survive in the untamed world, for they knew nothing of the secrets of nature, nor how to live in harmony with it. The wind howled over their heads, and the sun blazed in the sky. But the people could only look up in fear, unable to understand the world they had been given. Then, from the heavens, a divine being descended. Fuxi, a wise and compassionate god, part human and part serpent. His form was powerful, his upper body that of a man with broad shoulders and wise eyes, but his lower half coiled in the form of a great serpent, connecting him to both the earth and the mysteries of the universe. Fuxi, seeing the chaos and confusion that plagued humanity, felt a deep sense of duty. He knew that these people, though frail and unsure, had the potential for greatness. All they needed was guidance, and he was the one to give it. One morning, Fuxi stood by a wide river, its waters shimmering under the morning light. As he watched the fish swim gracefully through the water, an idea came to him. He knelt by the riverbank and gathered long reeds, weaving them together with his skilled hands. When he was done, he had created the first fishing net. Fuxi cast the net into the water, and when he pulled it out, it was filled with fish. He gathered the people and showed them how to use the net to catch fish. For the first time, they could feed themselves without risking their lives in dangerous hunts. The rivers and lakes became a bountiful source of food, and hunger no longer haunted the people. But Fuxi did not stop there. He also taught them how to make traps and snares, how to use vines and wood to create tools that would allow them to catch animals more easily. Soon, they learned to hunt with wisdom and strategy, rather than brute force. Life, once so harsh, became a little easier. Fuxi knew that humans needed more than just hunting to survive. He looked at the wild animals roaming the fields and forests, strong, fast, and full of potential. Fuxi showed the people how to domesticate animals, how to raise sheep for wool, cows for milk, and pigs for meat. Under his guidance, the people began to build herds, ensuring that they would always have a steady supply of food, clothing, and labor. This marked a great turning point in human history. With animals to help them, humans no longer needed to wander the earth in search of food. They began to settle in one place, building homes and cultivating the land. As Fuxi watched his people grow, he knew that they needed more than just food and shelter. They needed to understand the forces of the universe, the sun, the moon, the stars, the changing of the seasons. Without this knowledge, they would always be at the mercy of the elements. Fuxi climbed to the top of a great mountain, where he could see the vast sky spread out before him. He gazed at the stars, the clouds, and the rivers below, studying the patterns that connected all things. After many days of meditation, Fuxi unlocked the secrets of the universe. He returned to his people with a great gift, the Bagua, or 8 trigrams. Each of these trigrams was a symbol of the natural forces at work in the world: heaven, earth, thunder, wind, water, fire, mountain, and lake. Fuxi taught the people how to use the Bagua to understand the balance between yin and yang, the opposing forces that govern the universe. With the knowledge of the Bagua, the people learned to predict the weather, understand the seasons, and plan their farming and hunting around the natural cycles of the earth. Fuxi had given them a way to live in harmony with nature. As the people prospered, Fuxi noticed that they still lived without order. There were no rules governing their relationships, no structure to their families, and no laws to maintain peace. This led to conflict and disorder. To bring peace and stability, Fuxi created the institution of marriage. He taught the people to form families, with each man and woman united in a sacred bond. Marriage, Fuxi explained, would not only strengthen the bonds between individuals but also create a foundation for society. He performed the first marriage ceremony, joining a man and a woman under the blessings of the heavens and the earth. From this union, the people learned the importance of family, respect, and responsibility. Soon, entire communities were built on these principles, and the chaos that once ruled human life began to fade. Under Fuxi's guidance, humanity blossomed. They had learned how to fish, hunt, farm, and raise animals. They had discovered the mysteries of the universe through the Bagua, and they had formed families and communities that brought stability to their lives. With his task complete, Fuxi looked upon his people with pride. He had given them everything they needed to survive and to thrive. The once helpless humans were now masters of the earth, and they would continue to grow and prosper for generations to come. Some say that after his work was done, Fuxi ascended to the heavens, where he watches over humanity from the stars, a symbol of wisdom and compassion. Others believe he continued to live among the people, quietly guiding them when they needed it most. But no matter where Fuxi went, his legacy remained. He was the father of civilization, the one who had turned humanity from wandering beasts into the creators of their own destiny. And for that, he would be remembered for all eternity, alongside his sister Nüwa, as one of the great divine ancestors of the Chinese people. As the world flourished under the wisdom of Fuxi, he imparted essential knowledge to humanity, teaching them the skills needed for survival and prosperity. His teachings emphasized the principles of yin and yang, fostering balance and harmony in all aspects of life. With Nüwa nurturing humanity, ensuring their protection and continuity, the foundations of society were firmly established. Meanwhile, the legendary Yellow Emperor, Huangdi, emerged as a unifying leader, guiding tribes toward order and cultural development. His innovations laid the groundwork for future civilizations, and although he ascended to the heavens, his legacy of wisdom and unity remained imprinted in the hearts of the people. In the celestial realms, the Jade Emperor took his place as the ruler of the heavens, maintaining cosmic order. The 8 immortals, each embodying unique virtues, roamed the world, assisting humanity with their wisdom and representing the ideals of immortality and balance. Additionally, dragons emerged as powerful guardians of nature, symbolizing strength and the vital forces of water and rain that sustained life, embodying the dynamic interplay of yin and yang. Thus, with Fuxi's guidance and the influence of Nüwa, Huangdi, and other divine figures, humanity embarked on a journey of growth and discovery, forever intertwined with the forces that shaped their world. The legacy of these gods and immortals lived on in every aspect of life, reminding all beings of the delicate balance that sustains the universe. We hope you enjoyed this episode. In the next episode of this series, we'll explore how the universe is created according to the ancient Greek religion and mythology. If you found this journey fascinating, please like, comment, and share your thoughts. We want to know what intrigues you about the origins of life in the universe. Don't forget to subscribe to Explore Ages and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the mysteries of time, myth, and history.